For more than 200 years, history buffs and treasure seekers have been drawn to Oak Island, a small island close to Nova Scotia. The Lagena brothers and their team have been looking for the island's mysteries, including the finding of little gold in the streams. The brothers' motivation has been the notion that there may be long-forgotten hidden treasures on the island, include an antique handcrafted stairway, a hidden underwater passage with odd inscriptions and carvings, and gold traces in the water. The team has discovered more intriguing items like old coins, carved stones, and other ancient objects that give them new clues about life on the island many years ago. The discovery of gold and wood from deep underground has given the team real proof that there might be treasure on the island. Of course, we're going to investigate the so-called flood tunnel booby trap system. Tell me which way you want to go. The team's resolve and camaraderie have kept them focused even when the ground is challenging to dig. The discovery of Oak Island's darkest and deepest secret ushers in a new era of exploration. Oak Island is not just about treasure. It has left its mark on history with various cultures and people passing through over the centuries. The Lagena brothers and their group set out on a protracted and challenging quest to discover Oak Island's mysteries. Despite challenges, the team's perseverance and commitment enabled them to unearth more hints and deepen their relationship. After the initial discovery of gold traces in the water gave them new hope and inspired them to explore every square inch of the island. The team continued to look for more clues, holding on to the hope of discovering secrets that had been kept hidden for generations. Despite the difficulties, they remained focused on comprehending the stories and solving the riddles, proving that some legends might be true because they were somewhat cautious about what they dumped in there. Another surprise came when they tested wood found deep underground, revealing more traces of gold. Each test advanced their efforts to unravel the centuries-old mystery of Oak Island. The extensive and meticulous process of Oak Island's secrets involved scientific testing and historical exploration methods such as soil analysis and geological studies, which yielded vital hints about the island's past and possible hidden treasures. The Lagena brothers and their group found metal traces in the soil, which resulted in the identification of two different kinds of metal: shining regions that indicated gold and dark spots that indicated pure copper. Every new discovery gave the team confidence that they were headed in the right direction, and their methodical approach produced results that kept pointing them in the right direction despite numerous obstacles like equipment problems and physical dangers. This discovery validated the team's theories about Oak Island and gave them a solid foundation to continue their exploration. The team spent endless hours locating and examining structures and artifacts that gradually began to paint a clearer picture of the island's hidden past. The Lagena brothers and their group remained committed and focused while collaborating with specialists from several disciplines, including metal experts, historians, and archaeologists. You can all follow me down there, and if you have any questions as you go, please ask them. Rick Allwright, they were able to approach the investigation from a variety of angles, which helped them get closer to the solution. Historics played a major role by examining old maps and documents that helped trace the island's history back over the centuries. Archaeologists carefully examined the artifacts and excavation sites, finding evidence of how people may have lived on Oak Island in the past. Metal experts used advanced techniques to examine the metal objects they discovered, providing the team with important insights into the technologies used by the people who left the objects behind. As the team collaborated, they discovered innovative and new ways to explore the island. This is incredibly ancient, and secrets are making progress that would not have been conceivable if they had been working alone. This might be one of the ring balls, I wonder. There are numerous stone carvings of letters, numerals, and symbols on the enigmatic island of Oak Island. Although both historians and treasure seekers are interested in these engravings, it is still unclear what they exactly imply. According to some scholars, these sculptures, it might suggest that the island was visited by prehistoric explorers or settlers. Some people think they were clues or messages left by the island's original residents, while others think they were left by treasure. Hunters should mark specific locations or maintain the location of hidden treasures a secret. The difficulty presented by researchers is increased when they attempt to address the sculpture's reluctance to straightforward solutions. According to some scholars, they could be prehistoric marks that were used to indicate important locations or directions. Some scholars claim they were more modern, while others think they served ceremonial reasons. Treasure hunters' creations. Another intriguing. What is amazing is that you're looking at history correctly. The wooden structures and platforms found under the water suggest serious engineering efforts on the island, and some experts believe they were part of earlier efforts to dig for treasure. The discovery in the early 20th century was the construction of a cofferdam at Smith's Cove by treasure hunters. The dam was intended to keep water out so workers could dig in underwater areas. Others question whether they were intended to conceal or safeguard something of value. Over the years, researchers have uncovered historical records and made many other discoveries about Oak Island, a buried treasure. Early explorers and treasure hunters' maps, journals, and records offer important hints about the island's history. They describe bold engineering endeavors, setbacks, and excavations. Conflicting information in some documents leads to various hypotheses and inquiries. An ancient stairway that connected visitors to the island centuries ago was one of the most exciting discoveries. Another exciting discovery was a secret underwater tunnel with odd carvings and symbols. Look, if this is a tunnel, it's an epiphany. These markings on the ball foundation appear to be hints about Oak Island's history, and each new finding has increased the team's desire to carry out additional research. The team realized that even the most difficult obstacles could be overcome with perseverance and hard work after making a significant breakthrough when gold particles were discovered in wood samples taken from deep holes they dug in the ground. This discovery transformed the island's legends into a genuine search for something valuable. The Lagena brothers and their group never lost up on discovering the truth. Their mutual trust and purpose have strengthened their relationship, enabling them to overcome any obstacle and carry on with their search for Oak Island's hidden treasures. The Lagena brothers and their group have been putting in endless effort to learn the secrets of Oak Island, a mysterious Caribbean island. They have found pottery fragments and historical artifacts, and each new discovery has increased their optimism. By carefully examining and testing the items they find, the team has gathered strong evidence that supports their theories about the island's history. This approach has validated their efforts and kept them on the right track. The team's belief in the possibility of success has never wavered as they continue to search for the treasure. One of the most important aspects of their search has been scientific testing of their finds, which has helped validate their theories about the island's past. A major turning point in their journey was the discovery of wood and gold samples from the island, which validated their beliefs and gave them newfound vigor. Since then, they have kept searching the island for hints about its lengthy buried past. Despite the difficulties they encounter working as a team with specialists from all around the world, including historians, the team has persisted in their mission to reveal the island's hidden stories. Metallurgists and archaeologists have been essential to their advancement. Their efforts have revealed fresh hints that have contextualized the island's untold tales. Finally, the Lagena brothers and their group have been committed to employing advanced techniques to examine the artifacts discovered on Oak Island in order to reveal the island's secrets. The crew at Oak Island has been putting in endless effort to unearth the island's little-known past and culture. As they continue to explore, they find new methods and approaches to delve further into the island's past. They have also found new objects and clues, each of which adds a piece to the puzzle. Several theories on their origins have been raised by the recent discovery of flood tunnels at Smith's Cove, which play a significant role in the history of the island. Some people think the original designers of the money pit constructed them to safeguard their wealth. We're attempting to identify the boundaries of the paved area since some people think they were created later by treasure hunters attempting to outdo their rivals. Numerous people, including treasure hunters and researchers, have taken notice of stone inscriptions that contain letters, numbers, and symbols. Some researchers think these symbols are codes or signs from the island's original inhabitants. Others, however, think that visitors or treasure hunters created them to leave their imprint on the island. The early 20th century building of a cofferdam at Smith's Cove, which managed water flow and made it simpler to reach previously flooded areas, also added to the island's rich history. The finding of wooden platforms and structures during the cofferdam's construction begs the question of their function and whether they were a part of previous archaeological digs or the island's past.
As soon as word of the discovery spread, treasure seekers from all over the world flocked to Oak Island to look for the loot. The Onslow Company, a group of financiers, organized the first orderly excavation of the Money Pit in the year 1803. This specific team was able to dig down to a depth of 90 feet before the flooding, which happened in the pit once more, hampered their attempts. Meanwhile, the excavations were permanently halted in 1909 as the Oak Island Treasure Company went out of business. Since then, several other parties have tried to find the treasure buried on Oak Island, but the riddle of the money pit has remained unsolved to this day. Oak Island's mystery never ceases to astound us. But what precisely? Let's find out. John Stemmer supports the official Quest of Oak Island website, where you can read a fascinating article about this region. Laird, the expert, believes the ring of stones they discovered could be the foundation of a circular structure. Interesting, yes? When investigating the structure of Lot 5 in minute detail, concentric rings of stones are visible from approximately 100 feet away from the shore. An insightful contributor by the name of Barbara Kopak made an insightful point. She hypothesized that this structure was a kiln, possibly a lime kiln. Its design resembles an ancient Roman furnace discovered in Europe. It is important to observe that Barbara's experience as an architectural artist enabled her to make this intriguing connection. Its proximity to the shore enhances its attractiveness. John Stemmer and the Quest of Oak Island Facebook page utilized the incredible Muon drone to capture photographs. When considering the likelihood that it is a kiln, exciting possibilities emerge. Barbara Kopak's intriguing observation connects the connections, suggesting that this structure may have been a pipe-making kiln. The possibility that it was used to produce pipes piqued people's interest. Given the rumors of a flood tunnel system and the existence of a hydraulic mechanism, pipes would have been required for elevating and lowering the vault. Historiographically, the location of a kiln is crucial. Typically, they were situated away from communities to avoid disturbing residents with pollution. Lot 5 meets this requirement perfectly. It is also essential to be close to water and fuel sources. Fortunately, Oak Island provides both abundant wood for fuel and simple access to water for dilution of clay. It must be stressed that this is all conjecture, but it is intriguing to consider the possibility that Oak Island structures are related to ancient furnaces. In the slideshow, you can view a variety of kiln structures, including European and Roman-era examples. Are you not in agreement that the similarities are quite striking? Next, we will consider the shape. The notion that it might be a kiln was predominantly prompted by its appearance. Note the manner in which it expands. This may imply that there is more to learn than we are currently aware of. The debris-covered ring is clearly visible in a photograph. Now, this detritus could serve as part of the foundation, similar to the stone wall on Lot 26. Alternately, filling in with detritus could be the result of a construction project on Oak Island. If they had been digging tunnels, they would have needed to dispose of a great quantity of waste, and this area would have been ideal. When examining another image of a Roman kiln, be mindful of how far back it extends. Please take note of the large number of small fragments arranged in long rows to form concentric rings, which resembles what we observe on Oak Island. If this is a kiln, it may resemble this type, and where they are currently excavating may be the primary chamber. Remember how, in one of the most recent episodes of Curse of Oak Island, they made a hollow sound by striking a boulder at the bottom of the hole. They may still be required to reach the firebox area. Those fragments with the hollow sound could be protecting the fireplace after all. Currently, we are still determining how the temporary superstructure was constructed. It could have been built with rocks or something entirely distinct. However, this is not the only event that occurred at Oak Island. Astonished that the entire world. There is still more. Both the stone wall on Lot 26 and the pine tar furnace on Lot 15 contained fragments of charcoal. That indicates the presence of fire. They also discovered a piece of pottery, which provides additional insight into what the object may be. The images depict numerous kiln structures discovered by the University of York throughout Europe. They date back to the Roman era, proving that this technology is not new. Immediately, focus on the kiln on Lot 5. Observing the proximity to the water is intriguing. Regardless, let's dissect this and have some fun. First, visualize the mysterious setting in which we find ourselves. This location may be optimal for a covert operation. What if we told you a kiln could be hidden there? A kiln indeed. Consider alternative applications for this kiln before imagining a group of potters creating exquisite pottery. Our minds are racing and we are thinking about pipelines. Pipes indeed, This excellent hypothesis proposes Oak Island may contain a system of flood tunnels. What is this then? This is supported by evidence such as the valve and the cavity beneath the trapdoor. In this case, things are becoming increasingly intriguing. Perhaps intelligent infrastructure is used to construct the underground tunnels. They may be developing a hydraulic system to control the flow of water. However implausible it may seem, let's experiment with it anyway. It is prudent to use pipelines instead of open tunnels. The island's rugged terrain was only marginally suitable for tunneling. If water were to flow through certain areas, they might erode or collapse. Why then not utilize pipes to maintain a constant flow without endangering a collapse? At this point, things become even more pleasurable. Let's investigate the origins of pottery, my companion. We are discussing a technique that has existed since Roman times: clay pipes. Before, these pipelines were formed around a wooden structure, but it was difficult to connect them seamlessly. They ingeniously employed the potter's wheel, which originated in ancient Samaria around 3500 BCE. Incredible, right? Nevertheless, there's more. We should talk about glazing. You know, the protective layer that prevents water from permeating clay and causing damage to ceramics. Roman glazing techniques were extraordinarily inventive. They utilized salt, lead, and tin, invented later, to create an impregnable, complex covering. At this point, things begin to become somewhat chaotic. A pottery instructor asserts that adding saline or ocean water to clay causes its surface to bloom. The kiln firing process produces a beautiful salt patina. Can you imagine the ancient Romans using ocean water to produce these beautiful orange peel textured pipes? Mind-blowing. Let's discuss the pottery object discovered by Laird on the island. Laird believes it dates from the first half of the 18th century, but who knows? It could, after all, be a conduit. What is it? Though it does not appear to be a conventional straight pipe. Not every conduit needs to be straight. This component may be included in a conduit system with a radius of 12 to 14 inches. What is this then? Similar to the redware discovered on Oak Island, this object was crafted from clay. It could be a piece of the puzzle. Let us introduce you to the Romans once more. They were skilled at installing pipelines. Instead of using a single large conduit, they created these intricate pipelines comprised of numerous smaller pipes. It enabled them to regulate water flow and pressure adequately. A unique archaeological image of a Roman pipe reveals the sophistication and complexity of their systems. What is the future? Oak Island may have had a comparable system. You are in store for one more astounding realization. Are you still familiar with the Great Quadrilateral? Recently, essentials have begun to appear in unexpected places. Additionally, they were discovered at the Israeli castle of Belvoir. Are you serious? These nails, found throughout Notre Dame, date to the 1160s and were used to secure stones together during construction. Discuss prehistoric engineering techniques. Then, what does this signify for Oak Island? Well, it's all speculation. We are merely investigating the options for fun. But here's a wild idea. What if these materials discovered on Oak Island were used in an architectural marvel? They may have been part of an intricate structure that required precise stone binding. What is the future? Everything fits into the Oak Island arrangement. Let's mention the stone wall they discovered before we conclude. Even though it is not a wall in the traditional sense, it resembles a circle of pebbles in that it is filled with trash. What is this then? Underneath it, charcoal was discovered. There is still a great deal of data to locate and integrate. Subscribing to the channel will provide you with access to more blues from the world of mysteries.
Over 10 years ago, treasure hunter Rick Lagena set out on a lifelong adventure on Oak Island. The island's legend began in 1795 when Canadian settler Daniel McGuinness found something strange there. At the time, it was thought to be hiding unthinkable treasures ranging from religious relics to pirate gold. Growing up in Kingsford, Michigan, Rick became fascinated with Oak Island after reading an article in Reader's Digest in 1965 about the island's enigmatic money pit and the potential for gold hidden far below the surface. The government of Nova Scotia has a treasure troll legislation that currently only applies to Oak Island, and Rick persuaded his brother Marty to invest in Oak Island by buying a 50% share in Oak Island Tourism Corporation. The mystery of Oak Island lies in its potential, with legends speculating that it might be concealing treasures from the Knights Temple, the Holy Grail, or even Shakespeare's original manuscripts. Rick and Marty started discovering fascinating artifacts and objects that suggested there might be more to the legend than just stories. Believers contend that the island's secrets are too complex and persistent to be a coincidence, while skeptics cast doubt on the veracity of these assertions. For years, the narrative has gained credibility due to the curse of Oak Island, which asserts that 7 individuals must perish before the riches can be retrieved. The History Channel featured Rick Lagena and his brother Marty's journey, friendship, and unwavering search for answers when they set out on a private treasure hunt on Oak Island, a mysterious island that had captured their interest in 2014. Interesting discoveries were made by the show, including chunks of gold, human bone fragments with Middle Eastern origins, and a centuries-old metal crucifix. Rick's personal life is still a mystery because he has kept it quiet for more than 10 years. His unusual features, such as his dark, thick, wavy hair and stark white beard, are a reflection of his straightforward nature. Rick has an estimated net worth of $10 million, but his perseverance in pursuing his goals despite the odds against him has made him a successful treasure hunter. The majority of his income now comes from the show and the tourism generated by Oak Island Tourism Corporation, which partially owns the island. Rick's love for Oak Island is sincere, and his life was far from glamorous. His brother Marty, who had a successful career in engineering and business, chose to fund the project that changed Rick's life. Despite the success of The Curse of Oak Island, the show has grown to be a popular destination for fans and treasure hunters, and the money made from tours has significantly increased the brothers' earnings. Given that the show has attracted funding resources and international attention, Rick's relationship with it is not entirely positive. Rick, a treasure hunter, has been working on Oak Island for years, but the program hasn't always been his passion. He finds it difficult because the production crew occasionally pushes him to perform things he doesn't think are vital. The story's treatment of what he considers to be less important. Rick dislikes being on camera and believes that the program is an essential tool for the purpose, rather than a means of becoming famous. He also appreciates the work being done more than how it is presented. Beyond the actual treasure, Rick relates tales of odd events that occurred throughout their hunt, including unusual noises near the swamp, inexplicable people sighted by team members, and equipment problems. Rick takes seriously the myth of the island curse, which states that 7 people must perish before the treasure is discovered. Rick doesn't discuss it much, but his fervor and unshakable faith have sustained the hunt despite obstacles and disappointments. The brothers have a great regard for one another's viewpoints in spite of their differences. Rick approaches the treasure search realistically, understanding that there is no assurance that they will find the wealth and being ready for the potential that they may never find it. He finds value in the lessons they have learned and discovered thus far, and he is aware of when it will be time to leave. Since reading about the legend of Oak Island in Reader's Digest as a child, Rick Lagena, creator of the History Channel program Treasure Hunters, has been passionate about finding it. His intense obsession with the search has resulted in a double-edged obsession with the island's history and mysteries, but it has also led to criticism. At first, the show was a great way to raise money for the treasure hunt while telling the story to the world, but as the seasons have gone by, the emphasis has shifted from real discoveries to manufactured drama and cliched theories. Fans have expressed their unhappiness with the lack of conclusive results, since each season frequently ends on a cliffhanger despite promising a breakthrough. Another issue has been Rick's unwillingness to leave the hunt. He has often stated that he is ready to end it if it continues, but his behavior suggests otherwise. As a counterpoint to Rick's sentimental style, Marty Lagena frequently raises concerns about the viability and cost of their ideas. Rick is seen as a divisive figure by the public due to his enthusiasm for the treasure hunt, with others appreciating it. Others perceive it as tenacity that verges on delusion, as viewers become increasingly frustrated with the search's dwindling returns. Before long, the momentum will slow down and eventually stop. The Oak Island tale captivated Marty Lagena, an engineer and businessman, and his brother Rick, a former Reader Digest reader. In the 1960s, they developed a love for buried treasures and antiquated relics, and in the early 2000s they made their boyhood dream come true. When Marty, a brilliant engineer and businessman, acquired a majority stake in Oak Island Tours, the firm that controlled a large portion of the island, it was more than just a business choice. It was a dream come true. Because of his experience as an engineer, Marty approaches the treasure hunt with a logical and scientific attitude. He is aware that locating anything important on the island takes meticulous planning, patience, and occasionally luck. The excitement of the chase and the chance that they could discover something that could alter our perception of history are what motivate Marty. Lagena employs cutting-edge technologies like seismic testing, ground-penetrating radar, and sonar imaging to explore the island and unearth the truth concealed beneath it. His mission is not only to find treasure, but also to comprehend a piece of history that has been deeply buried. On Oak Island, Marty Lagena and his group have been looking for hidden treasures, especially in the Money Pit, a deep pit renowned for its potential. Treasures. Despite the difficulties of dealing with flooding and the high standards set by the team, they have been able to delve deeper than anyone had previously done. Some of the intriguing discoveries they have made include human bones, ancient coins from the 17th century, and odd carvings and symbols connected to the Freemasons, a well-known organization with its own towel. These connections have given rise to new theories regarding the Freemasons or Knights Templar, a medieval group with ties to the island. Over the years, people have believed that certain symbols and old documents suggest a connection between Oak Island and organizations like the Freemasons or Knights. However, the search for answers is not over, because every discovery raises more questions than answers. The team's focus on discovering the truth about Oak Island has sparked new conversations about hidden connections and clues. The notion that the treasure might be a part of a more extensive and captivating tale involving strong, covert organizations gives the Oak Island tale a completely new depth for treasure hunters, suggesting that they might be investigating a question that has the potential to change the course of history rather than merely searching for gold or jewels. Marty Lagena and his group are embarking on a worldwide treasure hunt in an effort to unearth a secret that has been suppressed for generations. The ongoing hunt has taken a toll on Marty's physical and mental well-being, raising concerns that he may be leaving the program. Rick, Lagena fans are worried as Marty's brother plays a bigger part in the program. Younger members, such as his son Alex Lagena, take on more because Marty is transparent about how difficult the treasure search is and intends to concentrate more on planning. Active roles. Since his early years, engineering student Alex has participated in the Oak Island treasure hunt, contributing fresh perspectives and challenging conventional wisdom. Reactions to this position change have been divided, with some fans believing he is preparing to take the lead in the treasure search. In 2019, strange rumors regarding the Oakland Island team, such as the likelihood that Alex Lagena passed away during filming, started to circulate as others questioned the squad's future. Alex still plays a vital part in the Oak Island quest and oversees his responsibilities at the family's Michigan winery, Maury Vineyards.